Hey designers, it's me Jan, and in this chapter we will learn about information architecture in UX design. In the case of our course, we will skip the UX research process because it's already done and it's summarized in Persona, which we have studied in the previous module. Some of the clients, just like in our project, will support you with already done research deliverables like Persona, Empathy Map, Impact Map, or Customer Journey Maps. The different situations are often in bigger corporations, startups, or agencies where research teams work and they empathize much more on the research activities. That's why we start now with the ideate phase of the process, which is represented with information architecture and wireframes. To support usability and findability, we should create information architecture first. Information architecture is not only about the designing menu, it's about arranging all content through the platform. Basically, information architecture represents the creation of a structure of a digital product. The composition of a structure allows users to understand where they are on the platform and where the information they are searching for is. Information architecture should be based on the three following pillars: users, context, and content. If we talk about users, we should definitely consider their needs for the information architecture and think about the priority of every component in the context of the whole platform. Then context refers to what type of information are we working with. This content is determined by features that we have learned in the user story section in the proposal. And of course, during creating a structure of the platform, we should think about context, which means, for example, business goals, resources that we have, technology that we are able to implement, or conditions when a user uses the product. If you are still a little bit confused about what the information architecture is, let's take a look at the platform where you are just watching this video. The main navigation represented with the left panel is composed of particular pages like overview, content, or quizzes. Those pages are the most important destinations for users, so they are available directly on every page of this platform with 1 or 2 clicks. Then we have a profile dropdown where we can find secondary actions like back to my course page, settings, or sign out. The whole composition of the pages is information architecture as well as the sections inside the pages. What I want to say is that we will not start with creating the final product like you can see on the Atheros Learning platform now. We will start with the information architecture as a structure of the platform. The information architecture is represented mainly with a sitemap. What is sitemap? As you can see, a UX sitemap is a diagram of a digital product such as website or application that shows how pages are prioritized, linked, and labeled. This one is a very simple sitemap, and definitely you will face much more complex structures. This was a little bit more theoretical part of this chapter, and now we will practice on the case of our Laplace platform. The very first step is choosing the right tool. We will use Figma, but again there is a large palette of various tools for creating sitemaps or various diagrams. For example, Lucidchart is a simple collaborative tool for easy diagramming, whiteboarding, and data visualization. And there is a Whimsical, which is really similar, and the third one, and my most favorite, is Miro, which is much more user-friendly in my point of view. It offers a large palette of predefined templates created by professionals in particular fields. You can also use this tool for creating user flows, which we will create in this chapter, and also for creating low-fidelity prototypes or wireframes if you want in the next module. All those tools have free plans, so you can check and try if it is suitable for you, or you can use Figma and have all stuff in one place. I usually aim for having all design documents or deliverables in one place, and that you can achieve with Figma. And also Figma released a very similar solution to Miro or Lucidchart, which is called FigJam, so you can try as well. So the task for now is to create a simple sitemap of the Laplace platform. The very first step is to download a template that I have prepared for you. You can find this template in the description of this page below the video. The file is again Figma file, so you can just drag and drop the file to your Figma project dashboard and you will get your copy of the project. Inside the project you can see the list of pages from the project brief, and now we will classify rectangles and create the information architecture of these main pages. The first step of information architecture creation process is to group pages based on the similarities, importance, logic, and other users and business requirements. During the grouping of pages, we should think about what it will look like on the platform as well. If the pages will be part of the main navigation, or we will, for example, create a separated button for them, and so on. First, we can see sign up and login pages, which are connected to a company landing page, which is not part of our project for now. Anyway, those processes stay a little bit separated from the page in the platform because users are supposed to complete the sign up and login processes before. We can drag and drop them and change color to show that those are separated processes. If we take a look at the pages, I think we can add one more rectangle because the onboarding process is closely connected to the sign up form. It's the process of filling in the necessary details once you will create your account. To express relation, we can add an arrow to show that the onboarding process comes up after sign up. Now we should think about the main navigation of the platform and the first page that users will see after login or completing the sign up process. Usually there is a page called a dashboard, overview or home that's based on the particular platform, but the pages should contain the most important information which users want to see after entering the platform. In our case, this page is called dashboard and it will be the main page also for the prototyping phase of this course, because we will demonstrate all activities on this page. This page is also described in the user stories. As a user, I want to see my portfolio performance, customizable watchlist, trending opportunities, and trades history in one place called Overview. That's exactly what we will put in the first place after entering the platform. The overview is also part of the main navigation, so we can add a new color for this group of pages. For example, we can make them purple. To continue with main navigation, I think we are now able to add more pages to the main navigation based on the goals, the pains of a user persona, and also the business goals. We should definitely include a portfolio page where users will see all investment products, and I think also that we should add a watch list where users can browse and customize investment products as well, and I'm not sure now about other pages for the main navigation, so we can let it as it is now and continue with other groups. Also make sure that you will not have too many pages in the main navigation, because you would make the decision process of user much more complex. I can see the significant similarities between the three processes that we have in the remaining rectangles. Let's add additional color for them, for example red. The wording is again suggesting another group, which is settings. I think we will group them as well with a new color, let's say green. Okay, we have 7 remaining cards for now. I would probably group profile details to settings because I will include them in one dropdown. We will group together as well reports, taxes and orders and trays for now. They seems to me that they could be in the main navigation, but I would keep the navigation lean and reduce a little bit the number of pages, so we will group them to more. That will save a place mainly for the mobile devices, and in the desktop version we can keep it visible by default. If you are confused now, don't worry, you will see in the next chapters how the product is formed, and after training you will be definitely able to create those architecture without a problem. Also keep in mind that this structure is not final, you can of course change it during the prototyping once you will see all pages in one place. Back to the cards, we have just a notification, which usually stay alone at the top, and the same it's for the help center. For the investment product detail, it's a little bit more complicated because we will be able to see the page of the investment products from multiple sites such as a watch list, overview or portfolio. So we can put it below the pages in the main navigation and add a row showing connection to the previous pages. Now we have the basic structure of the platform and we have a much better cognizance of how the platform will look. Again, if there are some things that you aren't sure about, I believe that you will understand much better when we will continue with the following phases of the overall process. As we have the basic groups, we can create now subpages to make it a little bit more structured. Those subpages will be not like single pages with their own content, but those will serve as a group to make the sitemap better structured. Often it's better to visually differ the pages, so I will remove the fill and add just a stroke. The first subpage that I would include is something like create new, then it will be probably a button including all those key processes, but if you imagine it on the screen, it might be problematic to show all those 3 actions separately, so that's why I will merge them to this subpage. Another subpage that I will create is a profile menu, which we have already described in the explanatory notes. This subpage will include all the green rectangles, but to reduce the number of pages there, we will create a subpage within this subpage, which will be called settings. Users will then be able to list those pages in the settings menu. Other pages like profile detail and currency manager will be separated pages in the profile menu. The last thing we should do is to connect labels with lines to show connections between each other. For this activity, I will just copy and paste the arrow that we already have. The structure and connections are already obvious from the page's positions on the screen, so just to make it complete. For sure, this is just a simple sitemap to show you how you can work step by step on the structure of the platform with the pages that you have already predefined. You can of course work on the structure more in detail and create deeper levels of the structure, like features that will be included within the page. Also, for sure, I didn't care that much about the visual aspect, so if you will create a sitemap for a client, definitely take care of the colors and sizes of the boxes and so on. For creating an information architecture that fits target users, you can use a method called card sorting. Card sorting is a method used to design and evaluate the information architecture, workflow, menu structure, or web navigation of various digital products. This method is very easy, could be cheap, quick, and really focused on the user's needs. During this method, participants organize topics written on the cards in the particular categories, just like we did in the previous step. We will not conduct card sorting sessions with users in this course, but it's important to know about this method, especially if you deal with some really specific interfaces. You can also use tools such as UXTweak, OptimalWorkshop.com, UserZoom.com, and so on. Of course, you can also conduct card sorting sessions face-to-face with your team and potential users. This way is often much more effective, but it shouldn't be always possible, especially if you work as a freelancer. I know that this chapter is quite extensive, so definitely we didn't cover all stuff, but I want to provide you a simple overview of this phase and demonstrate to you how the process of creating information architecture works. There will be cases when the structure is quite obvious, but also complex interfaces when the process takes a long time and you should test various options with the target users directly. If you want to study more information architecture, I recommend this book called Information Architecture for the Web and Beyond by Peter Morvile and George Arango. Also in this book you will learn that information architecture is not only about navigation of the platform, but also about the distribution of information within the page. I believe that it's all for this chapter. In the next lesson we will talk briefly about user flows. Don't forget to complete the quiz and see you soon.